Yo guys, quickly before this video starts, Collier Decks actually just dropped a stock at 6 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Pacific. There's some sick new graphics that he just launched. Go cop before they're all gone. CollierDecks.com. Go check it out.
Hello boys and girls, and welcome to the complete anatomy of a fingerboard. Now I've been wanting to make this video for a very long time because I constantly get comments asking, how to set up a fingerboard and what are the individual parts and how to do grip jobs and different things like that. This is kind of going to be an all-encompassing video for everything you need to know about fingerboarding as far as the actual hardware goes. This isn't going to be detailing any tricks or terminology for tricks and whatnot. This is just going to be straight fingerboarding parts, how to set up a deck and whatnot and so forth. So right off the bat, let's get into these individual pieces here. Now what you see right here, shameless plug, it's actually my sponsored bushings from Teak Tuning. They're absolutely sick. They kind of got this really cool orange and pink colorway going on here. Go check out teaktuning.com. They're my signature sponsored bushings. Look at me right there on the back. They're sick. Bubble bushings are amazing and perform a lot better than standard Tech Deck bushings or Black River bushings. These are my favorite, and I suggest everyone go try them out. So go check them out on Teak's website, and make sure to buy chuffs, because I'll get a little percentage of that, and I appreciate everything y'all do. So there's the bushings right there. There's 4 of them because these actually fit in between the kingpin and the hanger itself. Now let me get into that as well. This, what you see right here, is called a base plate. And a base plate, this is actually a Black River truck base plate. What you see here is 2 different things actually. The base plate is this gold piece here, which has the holes at the bottom. This is responsible for mounting onto the bottom of your board. It has the 4 holes there for the 4 screws. That little top hole is where your pivot cup is going on your hanger itself. That's the place that the bottom of the hanger rests in the pivot cup. And of course on top you have your kingpin here. Your kingpin is basically the skewer for all of the different parts that are attached with the hanger. And a nut goes on top of this kingpin, which puts everything together. So it normally goes bushing, hanger, bushing, nut, just like that. Moving on, we have the hanger right here, which goes in the middle of that base plate on that kingpin. And what you see with the hanger itself is there is a axle running straight through. Now with Black River trucks, they do a great job because they make a singular axle that runs straight through the truck itself. So this whole part is hollow. Now, if any of y'all are familiar with Tech Deck trucks, they have 2 axles, an individual one for each wheel. And I'll show you a clip now. But basically, in that clip itself, you can see that the axle actually falls out. The wheel completely just dips out of its socket. It's very annoying. So having a single axle system is very handy. This black piece on the bottom is actually a pivot cup, and this pivot cup itself is kind of like a homemade one. You can get this material from like Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It looks like this. It comes in these like strands. I love this material so much because it's not hard plastic like most of the pivot cups you'll find. It's like a nice silicone type material. Reminds me of the original pivot cups that they used to put in the Tech Deck longboard trucks a long time ago. But it's the best pivot cup feel that I know of. Black River makes pivot cups that go into the actual socket that's pre-designed on the base plate itself, right on the bottom. But those tend to wear out rather fast, so having your own supply is usually a good idea. But usually you'll find them coming in a whole bunch of different colors, kind of like this, which is nice. They're just very hard plastic. I feel like they don't give me the softness that I really want out of them. I just dropped something again. Oh, my bolts. I just dropped a bolt. God dang it. Where'd you go, Bull? What you have right here is a fingerboard itself. This is from the company Sblmnl, who actually just stopped manufacturing decks. F's in the chat for Sblmnl, everyone. They will live forever in our hearts. But it's got this really sick purple top ply, this really nice graphic on the bottom here. I think it's super sick. I haven't tried this shape yet from Sblmnl either, but a fingerboard itself is usually comprised of 5 plies of any type of veneer wood, pressed together in a mold, countersunk so that you can put in your holes there, hand-shaped. Sometimes they're CNC lathed. But this is the deck we're gonna be setting up today. And then of course, you have your fingerboard tape. This is foam tape from the company Sponsor Me Tape. I'll have all the links to everything you see in this video in the description below, so make sure to check that out as well. This is kind of the best tape on the market in my opinion for fingerboarding right now. It is just superb quality in my opinion compared to other companies. I just recently did a review over this, so if you want to check that out, it's going to be in the top right corner. Check it out. Almost forgot to mention, brothers, with your kingpin itself, depending on the truck you have, because as you can see here, this is a dynamic truck, and they kind of come at it from a different angle when it comes to their actual kingpins. This is a top screw-in kingpin, as where you see on the Black River truck, this is a bottom screw-in kingpin that you really don't have to mess with at all, ever. So when you put on your pivot cups and your nuts and whatnot, you just load it up from the top, super easy, nut it off, really quick, simple. When you do it with this type of kingpin to where it removes completely, you have to load everything up onto the kingpin and then put it back in the base plate instead of actually, screwing that nut on top to finish it off. These types of kingpins can be sold separately, as you see here. These are from the company Sponsor Me Tape, and these are actually for Y trucks, dynamic trucks. A couple other truck companies actually use it to where it's a top screw-in kingpin. You can have slip loosening, on either one of these truck designs, whether the kingpin's falling off, the nut on top of that kingpin, like the Black River design, can fall off. So they haven't really avoided it on either side. Some perform better than others. Hand transition, there's going to be text on this hand. Do 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 do. Now to set up the deck. So the first step into setting up your fingerboard is we need to set up these trucks. We need to make sure that these are all ready to go. They got their wheels on, they got their pivot cups on. So I'm gonna open up these bushings here. All right, you see how this thing is angled right here? See how it's kind of like a trapezoid in a way? You put the small end, so the pink tip part, onto the base plate upside down. See, so here's my kingpin, here's my base plate. I'm putting it just like, sometimes with Black River trucks, you have it to where your kingpin will actually come loose and stick out the bottom just a little bit. We need to shove that back in there. I hate when this happens, oh my God. So every time that I put on a pivot cup, I make sure it's completely flush by taking my Black River tool or any type of tool and pushing down the bushing all the way in, just like that. Okay, and then what you do is you take your hanger and you make sure that the hanger pivot cup lines up to this back hole, just like that. You thread the top of the hanger through the kingpin, just like that. And then you take your next bushing, this time with the bushing itself, we're gonna make sure that this pink part at the bottom, the wide end should always be the part touching the top hanger for frame of reference. So, and that it is filling this hole perfectly. That's something you definitely want to make sure you do. If you have any type of bubble bushings like this, there's a top little rim. You want that pivot cup to be within that, not, falling out in any type of way. You want it to sit in there perfectly, because that's gonna make it so that your trucks are not wonky, you're rolling straight. So that's important. Make sure that your pivot cup fits perfectly in the space for the hanger. Once you have your bushings onto the kingpin, you take one of your nuts. These are lock nuts. Which is really good about these is that they have a threading system to where they do not come loose. And then you're gonna tighten that nut right on top of your kingpin to your desired tightness. I usually tighten it to a good medium loose-ish, but there you go. That's your truck right there. And then you're gonna repeat this process for the other truck. Now that you have your trucks with the bushings inside of them on the kingpin itself, everything's done in that regard, we can put the wheels on. So, you just take your wheel. These are flat face G4 white wheels for Black River trucks. And it's very easy to tell which side goes on the truck itself. It's the less deep side. So this is the side to which is facing outwards. This one is the side we're gonna put directly onto the truck. So you'll take that side, you'll take your truck, and you put it on, just like that. So we gotta do this for 4 wheels, and we're just gonna screw them right on. Make sure there's not too much movement in between, because that means your axle is a little loose, or you might need to tighten up your wheels a little bit more. See, this is another problem. With Black River trucks, sometimes your nut's gonna get right stuck in there the wrong way, and you'll have to pop it out, put it back in the correct way. I just screwed these in, I set these up perfectly, there's no problem whatsoever, not much movement at all. And if I spin it, it goes for about like a half a second, and then it stops spinning. I don't know, maybe the bearings are the issue here, maybe it's me, I'm not sure. But now we have set up trucks. Now this is the decision that you have to make. Do you want to be able to see your screws coming through the top of your grip tape, or do you just want a clean sheet? For me, I normally like the screws coming through the grip tape itself, but people always want to know, how do you do grip gaps? How do you do grip gaps? It's very simple. You just cut your grip before you put it on the board. That's it. That's literally it. That's all you gotta do is cut your grip before you put it on your board. Cut it wherever you want to do it. It doesn't even have to be straight, because you got 2 straight ends on the side here. So cut it wherever you need to, place it on the board, then you got your cool grip cap. For our grip cap today, I'm going to be using some stickers and some clear grip tape. So I have some stickers from my sponsor me tape. These are these really cool vinyls that I'm gonna put on here. Actually, I think I'm just gonna do this one. Yep, we were gonna do 3, but it'll be easier if I just do 1. And then we got it. Clean and beautiful on the board itself. Now I was gonna put some clear grip over that, but I like how that looks by itself, so I think I might just keep it just like that. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our normal grip, and literally we can cut it wherever we want. Because I know that the grip gap is gonna need a little bit more for one end than the other, I'm just gonna cut it in a random location right around there. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then we're gonna take this piece of tape and we're gonna apply it to our back end, because this is gonna go on the smaller end where our grip gap is. Take your time. It's no rush. Your grip job is very important. You don't wanna fudge that one up, Carl. So now that we have applied that side, it's as straight as I can get it. You take your other side of your grip, take the straight edge, and apply it as well. That looks like a nice little grip gap. And then we're gonna apply that down, push it down as much as possible. And I usually pressure it into my shirt just so it'll get one of these and it'll start to wrap around the board so it's a little easier to file down. So you get your file of any sort. It could be a metal file, it can be a little, ivory board, kind of like this one. Anything will work. You can even use scissors. I don't recommend it because it's always hard to get a good clean grip job. And you want to come down at an angle, kind of like a 45-degree angle. Go away from yourself, but come down away from yourself at that angle. And you just kind of go at it. I think this is coming out really bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie. You'll win some, you'll lose some. With these grip battles, you never know if it's gonna come out good. You never really know. I haven't used an ivory board in a long time. I usually use a metal file. So this is a little bit weird for me. It's very natty on the sides, but it's gonna work regardless. And the more you use the board, the more fine-tuned and, well it's gonna look when it gets a little worn in. But you can clean up the sides just a little bit if you need to. Clean up those sides, no problem. And you can run your finger along the edge of the board to get the other adhesive to kind of just wear away, because there is going to be a little bit of that sticky stuff left on the side. And we're looking pretty good. We're looking pretty sexy, boys. Look at that. That's beautiful right there. That's elegant. I'm muting my phone. Shut up. I have this small little trash can that I've always had near my fingerboard desk so that I can brush these little particles in here, because if you get those stuck on the bottom of your wheel, it is the biggest pain in the butt in the whole wide world. So make sure to get those little nitties out the way. Now what you do is you take your tool. You want to pre-drill out these holes for the hardware to go in. Speaking of hardware, did I just push everything into the trash? Did I just do that? Am I an idiot? Oh, I'm an idiot, bro. Alright, I guess we're just gonna pick out the God darn it, man. I have a cool instrument for times like these. It's my little magnet on a stick, so I can go in this trash can and grab them. I think I got as many as I'll find. Oh, is that all of them? So the camera turned off and I had no idea until I was done with the whole video. But we didn't miss much. We just missed the parts where I drill the holes into the grip itself. And how you do that basically is very simple. You just kind of guesstimate where the holes are gonna be by looking at the backside, or you can take a paper clip or like a little needle of some sort and actually puncture through the tape from the graphic side of the board to know where your holes are gonna be. But you're gonna line it up with where those holes are gonna be, and you just twist it as much as possible until the grip itself in that area is completely hollowed out and falls through. The way that I mount trucks, and I've been mounting trucks this way for about a year now, I used to do it completely different. But the best way I've found recently is you take all 4 of your bolts, all 4 of your screws here, and you thread them through the holes first and foremost. And then once you get all 4 of your bolts through, what you want to do is, while the board is facing away from you, the part where you're mounting the trucks itself, you want to put your index finger over the bolts and flip the board over so that your fingers are holding them from falling down. Then you're gonna take your truck that's completely set up and ready to go, put it on the board to where your kingpin is facing in way, not towards any of the tails. And then once you have that lined up, all 4 screws matching with the holes, with your thumb supporting the bottom of these trucks right here, flip it over again, move your index finger so that now you have the exposed bolts that you can screw in. And you're gonna start with one corner, and then you're going to go diagonally to the other corner. So right there. And you don't want to tighten them all the way, just enough to where you have a little bit of resistance. Then you're going to go to the other 2 across from each other, just enough to have a little resistance. And then you're going to tighten them as much as you want after that point. Now, Black River base plates do have a tendency to strip if you tighten them too tight, so don't go too hard in the paint. Make sure that there's no separation in between the board itself and the base plate. If there's a gap in between the board and the base plate, then you mounted it wrong. You need to redo it again. If you do it the way that I just showed you, then you shouldn't have that issue whatsoever. That is about it. This deck is completely set up, and it is a beautiful combination. Such a nice setup. Beautiful purple top ply too. All the information again for all the parts I used in this video will be in the description below. Thank you for tuning into this video today. I hope you learned something. I hope I helped you improve on your techniques in setting up fingerboards. Let me know if you want me to do a specific video on setting up grip gaps and different complex things like that. Just let me know in the comments below. Suggestions. Drop a like on the video if you liked it. I love you guys. See you in California, March 9th. Event details in the description below. We're almost at 60K. Huge giveaway. I appreciate all the love, guys. The last video that I uploaded is doing so well right now, and you guys are just killing it. And I'm so happy to be full-time YouTube right now. So stick around, guys. New video on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Okay. Y'all have a great day.